My name is Amber Jones and I work at the Carbondale Branch Library, and I have a craft project for you to do at home today. Hopefully you have these supplies in your home and it's something you can mix up pretty easily. It is a salt dough cinnamon ornament. So the cinnamon is going to make it smell really good. And these are a couple examples I did with my kids of how they can turn out. We can add a lot of embellishments or paint. You can Mod Podge the sides and make it a little shinier if you like. This is an example of what it looks like plain, just the dough itself, nothing on it. Smells really good. And this is one where we just applied some acrylic paint. But you might have sequins or ribbons or any number of things that you choose to add to your ornament. This is the recipe. This is what you'll have to make the dough. You're gonna need 1 cup of flour, a 1/2 cup of salt, a 1/2 cup of cinnamon, and 3/4 cup of very warm water. That helps the salt dissolve and make a nice dough. All right, I've got my things here. I like to start with the dry ingredients first. So 1/2 cup of salt, 1 cup of flour, and a 1/2 cup of cinnamon. It really works best if you'll go ahead and stir those together until they're incorporated before you add your water. It's just a good habit when cooking and baking to do that. Helps your recipe turn out. Okay. So that looks pretty good, pretty even, kind of a light brown. Now I get to add the water. It already smells really good. Hopefully you enjoy the smell of cinnamon as well. So first I'll start by stirring that and get it mixed up and incorporated. Before I put my hands in and knead it up. I might have to mash it a little bit. If you find that it's gotten too wet, you can add a pinch of flour. If it's too dry, you can add a few sprinkles of water. Go slow. You don't want to do that too quickly because you'll overdo it and go too much the wrong way. I'm noticing that mine is rather sticky, so I have a little bit more flour right here. Kind of get that spread around on there. And hopefully that will get it to just the right consistency. It looks pretty good. You might like to sprinkle your working surface with some flour. I chose to work on a silicone baking mat so that it doesn't stick. You could also use a cookie sheet, some wax paper, freezer paper, or probably even a piece of foil if you have that. The idea is to work with whatever you got so you don't have to make a trip to the store. I'm gonna give mine a little sprinkle so it doesn't stick too bad. I'm gonna start by working with just a piece of my dough. Oh yeah, mine's pretty soft. You could probably use another sprinkle of flour, but I think it's gonna get the job done. That'll help keep it from sticking. And then I have a plastic tube to use as a rolling pin. You might have an actual rolling pin, but maybe even a glass cup. Look around, see what you have. We're hoping to get this rolled out to a 1/4 inch consistency. Not too thick, but if you're too thin, it will crack while it's drying, and then you'll have a crumbled Christmas ornament. All right, there's that. I had some Christmas themed cookie cutters, but maybe you have some other kind of cookie cutter that you want to use. You could use a round circular cup. You could also use just a butter knife and cut out, say, a triangle for a Christmas tree. Look around, see what you have, and work with what you got. Yeah, so you can see my first one. Then I am using a metal reusable straw to poke my hole with, but you may use a chopstick or a skewer or a plastic straw to add a hole. You don't want to do that too close to the edge. When this ornament dries, you will end up with, again, a cracked ornament. So there's how you get it all started. Then I'll need to peel away around my other. You can work with the dough for a while just to play with it because it's kind of fun to squish and squeeze. and roll out some more ornaments, and I'll show you what's next. All right, now that you have your pieces cut out, you need to let them dry so you can finish working on them. There's two different ways you can dry them. You can just air dry them, and you can flip them in between. It takes about 2 days to fully dry out. Or if you have a grown-up to help you, you can put them in the oven at about 200 degrees for 2 hours and flip halfway in between if you'd like to dry them a little faster. Once you have your dry ornament, you can start working on the decorating part of it. You can maybe use some acrylic paints like I talked about. Maybe you have a glitter pen left from another project, some ribbon, maybe a hot glue gun if a grown-up is there to help you with that, and you can decorate them up. We'd love to see what you come up with. Thanks for tuning in.